Hey, this is Danny from the Magic Our Way podcast, and you guys are listening to the BS Podcast Network.
This podcast brought to you by OuchThatHurts.com. Visit Ouch That Hurts for music, gaming, reviews, editorials, podcasts, and more. Ouch That Hurts, HERTZ.com.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Save Point Podcast. I am Dan, joined here by Steve. Steve, how's it going?
Good. How are you?
Good. And we have a new guest on our podcast episode. Hunter, what's going on?
I'm pretty good.
You're pretty good? Awesome. So first off, we want to say happy holidays to everybody out there that's listening, whatever holiday you celebrate. We hope that you have a great holiday, great season and all of that and all that fun stuff that many toys, many gifts, many games. As long as you've been good, right?
Yep.
Damn straight.
Yeah, and if you've been bad, still, whatever. We don't want to forget about our sponsors. First off, or our partners, not necessarily our sponsors, but our partners. Go to OuchThatHurts.com. That's OuchThatHurts, HERTZ.com. Video game reviews, all that fun stuff. And also check out the BS Podcast Network. We owe a lot to the BS Podcast Network. There's a great bunch of people there. They always put our episodes up very timely and get great exposure from them. Plus, on top of that, they have a whole bunch of other podcasts. Any ones that you could possibly even think of, just go and check them out. That's the bspodcastnetwork.com. So it's been a while since we've actually recorded. Since July, right?
I don't know, but that sounds right.
That sounds right.
Yeah.
Well, we were going to go back, and we were going to start back in September or October. But
yeah.
I decided to do something, or my family and I decided to do something very, very much time consuming, I guess. And that was we sold our house.
Oh, congrats.
Yeah. We ended up selling our house. So instead of being about.
More important than that, did you buy a new house?
No, we're living out of a box right now, but because I put all the money from the selling of the house into my computer.
The computer keeps us warm. There's so many multi-cores running.
So many multi-cores. No, I was, long story short, where I worked downtown Chicago. And where I was living was about an hour and a half minimum to get from downtown Chicago to my house. If anybody's ever been through traffic in Chicago, you know that it's not an hour and a half. You add about an hour onto that. So I was driving about 2.5 hours just one way every day. So about 5 hours of driving every day for about a year and a half. And
that sounds terrible.
It was.
Yuck.
It was terrible. So I went over and we ended up contacting a realtor. And he said, how much would you want to sell your house for? And I said, well, for me to make a good, decent amount and be able to put money down on another house, I really need to sell about this much. He goes, great. He says, we could sell it for about $40,000 more. And I went, oh, okay. So let's do it. So he basically said, how fast can you get your house ready? I said, give me a week. He went, a week? And I went, yeah. He goes, wow, that's fast. And I said, yep. So we turned it around in a week, sold it in 3 days, and then, or we had an offer on it to sell it in 3 days, and took about a month and a half after that to actually close on it. And then we moved into our new house. So we've been setting that up. And so
wow.
so the reason that we haven't been able to really record, or you haven't heard from the Save Point podcast, is because of the host, or one of the hosts.
The main host.
Yeah, the main host, because I decided to sell my house. So
how dare you? We have podcasting to record.
Yeah, I know. But you know what the really nice thing is now?
What's that?
Takes me about an hour, if not less, to get to work.
Oh, it's amazing.
It is
so good.
absolutely amazing. I get extra hours of sleep every day, and I'm so happy.
Plus that extra like 40 grand, like you've only like bought video games and stuff with that, right?
That's it.
Just that.
Just that. It's already blown. Sorry. It's just
Oh, excellent.
so Steve, what have you been up to? What games have you been playing now that we, all of that?
Well, so since July, I've been playing lots of stuff. Lots of stuff has come out. I mean, there's a big thing to talk about, and then there's like a lot of little things to talk about. I think I'm going to save the big thing for later. Well, maybe not. I don't know. I have so much to talk about, you guys. Like, strap in for the next 3 hours as I talk.
That one little from Hunter.
Yeah, he's like, great. This is what I signed on for. I could be playing Fortnite right now. Do you play Fortnite, Hunter?
No, I like playing Call of Duty.
Oh, you're a big boy. Okay. I don't mean to be mean. I'm sorry. Okay, so the big thing is that I got an Oculus Rift S. So, yeah, that's the big thing I've been playing. I've been playing the motion sickness simulator. It's been going very well.
The motion sickness simulator.
Yeah, it's actually. So I typically do not get motion sick, like for anything. Like I can, read in a car and like look around. It's not a big deal. And so far there's only been one game that actually makes me nauseous, and that is Boneworks, which is like the big VR PC deal that just came out.
Mm-hmm.
But like all the other things I've played, which Beat Saber, The Lab, which is like a free VR Valve deal. Trover Saves the Universe and Elite Dangerous, all of those I'm fine with. I don't get nauseous. It's just pure fun. But Boneworks, for some reason, after I play for about 5 minutes, I just get like a weird little nauseous feeling in my stomach. It never gets so bad that like I hurl or anything like that, but it's constant. And so like I just grit my teeth and just play through it, which is fun. So yeah, I hit big on the VR world because I've been waiting a long time to do that, and it's here, and it's now, and it's the future, and it's the best.
Did you say that that's like the cordless one? Like you don't need a computer for it, or do you need a computer for it?
No, I need a computer for it. The one you're thinking of is the Oculus Quest, I think it's called.
Okay.
Yeah, which now they have like there's like a firmware update or something where you can plug it into your computer and it kind of turns it into a Rift S a little bit, for like the extra horsepower that you'd need. Yeah, this one just has a single cable that runs out of it, and it splits in the back to the like the weird monitor cable and then a USB 3. Yeah, so I just have to deal with the one cable. There's no like satellite receivers or anything like that. It does everything through cameras on the front of the device. It has like 2 pointing down, 2 pointing to the side, and 1 pointing straight up. And it uses all those cameras to track the motion of the controllers and the motion of your head. And it works really well. Like this is my first VR experience, but I have zero complaints about like the tracking or the response time or any of that stuff. And I'm only running on a GeForce 960, so I've got an old card, and still it runs pretty darn smooth. So, yeah.
Oh, nice. Nice.
Yeah, it's been good. It's been really good.
Can I make a suggestion just because I have it on the PSVR?
Yeah.
And Hunter, I know that you could probably chime in with this, is a game called Beat Saber.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I have Beat Saber. I've played that.
Oh, you have?
Yeah, that is the first time I've gotten sweaty in many months.
And it's a wonderful sweat.
Oh, it's a good sweat. Oh yeah, it's a beat sweat. Yeah, that's a super fun game. It's well done. It's smooth. It's got good music on it, and it works really really well. I'm a huge like Guitar Hero / Rock Band. That's like I've played those games for hundreds of hours, and so this is kind of scratching that itch because I haven't played any of those for a very long time. Since kids have come along, I don't think I've played Rock Band since I've had kids, so it's been 5 years now. So yeah, it scratches that itch, which is cool. Yeah, Beat Saber, two thumbs way up.
Awesome.
And I want to like highly recommend Trover Saves the Universe, which is the Justin Roiland game of Rick and Morty fame, because it's cool because they integrate you sitting in a chair playing VR as like the character in the game that you're playing at as an alien called a Cheropian that just sits in a chair and uses a controller for everything. And so you're in the game sitting in a chair, like that's your VR experience, is sitting in a chair holding a controller. But then the alien Trover comes up, pulls out a power baby out of his eyeball, and it gets stuck into your controller. And now you can control him in a 3D platformer environment. So the game is really just like a platformer, like a 3D platformer, but you were also in the world as a guy controlling the guy. And there's lots of, if you like the humor of Justin Roiland, like the humor in Rick and Morty, like the game is just dripping with that kind of humor. Very foul in an excellent way. I forgot, do we curse on this show?
Yeah.
With Hunter, how cursey should I be? Are you okay with curse words, Hunter?
I am fine.
Fuck yeah. So Trover, I mean, it is so Justin, what they did with this game, which is excellent, is they put him in a recording studio and just let him go with like story beats that he needs to hit with certain characters. And so the dialogue just goes on and on and on, especially when it's time to, like, when you're talking to somebody and they give you an instruction, oh yeah, go and, talk to so-and-so. And if you just stand around, he's like, hey, get out of here. What are you doing here? Get out of here, you fucking idiot. What are you doing standing around? And he just starts giggling to himself. And it's all dialogue in the game. And it's just excellent. It's so funny. It's a great game. Huh. You can also play it non-VR, but the VR experience of it is great.
It makes it worth it.
Yeah, for sure. Like if you have a VR headset, go buy that game. Like to me, that's an instant buy. Like that's just, as long as you're old enough and you appreciate that kind of humor, blah blah blah. It's an instant buy. It's just fun, straight up fun.
Awesome.
Yeah. So then, besides VR, and this will only take another 4 hours. I swear, I'm almost done. Planet Zoo came out, and I played that, and that's a great game. So that is the Frontier, I think is the name of the company, which has done Elite Dangerous is their big one. They've done the Jurassic World Evolution, and they've done Planet Coaster.
Planet Coaster also?
Yeah. And so Planet Zoo is like a sister product to Planet Coaster. It's like the same, like little people walk around. It's the same style, except for it's a zoo. So you deal with it being, the amusement park aspects of it, which they're not rides or anything, but like laying down paths and putting in, bathrooms and places to eat and keeping your guests happy. But then you also have the exhibits portion of it where you're taking care of the animals and make sure they're well fed and their needs are met and all that kind of stuff. And there's like a whole breeding thing with the animals, and they have ratings, and you have park inspectors. It's a whole deal. It is a great game. It is a fantastic zoo simulator. It is really, really good. So if you've been looking at it like, should I buy this? Yes, you buy that. Then there is Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, which that's a great game.
I agree.
It's so good. It is so good. So that is it's a Dark Souls like, right? And I've never played any of the Dark Souls games. I know like about them and how they play and that kind of nonsense. And that just to me was like, that's cool. I'm glad that exists, but that's not for me. Like I don't like to get frustrated in my games that I play. Yep. And then Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order came out, and I was like, okay, it's a game like that, but I super love Star Wars, so I'm going to give this a shot. And it works. Like they tone it down enough so that casual fans can enjoy that gameplay style. But it's Star Warsy enough that if you're a Star Wars fan, you'll like kind of get over the fact of the type of game it is. It's just good. I don't know what else to say. It's a great game. I like to die a lot in that game and then win. So there you go.
All I do is win.
Oh, why did we do that? Why did we do that? So I apologize, Hunter. It's terrible. The Outer Worlds, awesome RPG that I highly anticipated, And I played that until the day that Fallen Order came out, and I haven't gone back to it since. But that is an awesome RPG. All the good stuff. It's the better Fallout. It's the best Fallout. So
Okay.
So play that. And then the last one that I think I was playing this when we stopped recording way back when, and there may be some other games that I'm missing in between, but Kingdom Come Deliverance, the 1300s medieval life simulator. And that is a special type of game for special types of people. If that's your jam, then it's really good. But I don't want to get too much into that because it's been a while since I've played it. And I don't remember all of the little bits and pieces of it, but I did play that way back when, and I enjoyed it. I'll stop there. That's what I've been playing.
Okay. Sounds good. I will give what I've been playing, stuff that crosses over to what Steve has been playing. What about you, Hunter? What have you been playing per se? Yeah. I guess. What have you been playing? I'm trying to give like a time frame, but it's like he's never been here, so it's like
In early July or whenever it came out, I pre-ordered Call of Duty and Modern Warfare. And
okay.
The campaign was worth it. I like the whole aspect of going to different sort of areas of the world and seeing different people's perspective in the game. Like, you get to have this person's perspective in this sort of world, or not world, but part of the world. And I liked how it all led up to the ending part, which was phenomenal. I liked it a lot. I recommend to buy.
Is Soap still in there? Was his name Soap?
Soap?
Yeah. Okay.
Well, this is like all before Modern Warfare. Like, this is like. Well, I didn't play a lot of Modern Warfare. I have the second one, which it's completely out of order, but it sort of is just. It's one of those sort of games that is. It's just fun to have.
Okay.
I think how this goes is. This is before how they assemble the whole team. So this is.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Oh, that's cool. Okay, that makes sense. So I get what you're saying. I've played a couple of the Modern Warfare, so I get the thought process of what you're saying. The order is. Yeah.
Another game that I've been playing is Luigi's Mansion for the Nintendo Switch, which I thought it was. I looked at the trailer and I liked how it's sort of. It's not really like 2D and it's not really like 3D, but it's sort of like that. Like if you're walking down a hallway or whatever, and then you sort of turn, it sort of turns the camera towards that sort of angle, and I sort of like it. And
it's like a 3D platformer without being able to rotate the camera.
Yeah, pretty much. And I like the idea of how it's not a Mario game, because Mario has all these sort of games like Mario Odyssey, Super Mario Land, or all these Mario games like Mario Kart. And I would like how Luigi has this own sort of, say, game series of just this Luigi's Mansion, and I played it through all the boss battles, all of the little things you can do. It's a fun game. I'd recommend that as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Those, there's one game that I see that you played a lot of when it came out, and that was Just Cause 4.
Yes. I've been gaming that out. I like when I first got it. I went to the store and I was thinking of getting, what do you say? I think it was like one of the new games, like maybe the Crash Bandicoot racing game, or it was Just Cause 4. And I saw a lot of YouTube videos about Just Cause 3, and I like the idea of just like blowing stuff up and having just a bunch of fun in the game and not really no point of just playing it. And so I'm like, I'll just give it a shot. So I tried it out the first day, and I thought it was super fun. Like, they give you all of this sort of stuff to do in the beginning, and like after the first 2 missions, you're basically free roam. It's an open world, which I like, and I think is like a fun aspect that you get to do. Say, go to all these different parts of just this one sort of, like, I wouldn't say country. I'd have to say like a giant state, pretty much.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and
Awesome.
yeah, pretty much.
Awesome. Cool.
Big sandbox games are so much fun. Like
Yeah.
when they do them right, oh, they're great. I have a question. I have a question for Hunter though.
What's up?
Call of Duty Modern Warfare.
Yeah.
I went to the website and I'm looking at it here and I'm like seeing the characters and all this stuff here. But then I scroll all the way to the bottom and it says age rating mature 17 plus.
Yeah.
So how are you able to even play this? Like, isn't it way too mature for you? Don't you want to shoot up schools now or something?
It took a lot of convincing, number one, and number two. I think why it says mature, I think it's just for... And in the campaign, they don't really say a lot of swear words, but every once in a while in the thing, they're like, oh, well, I'm not going to say it, but they say words like, I don't know.
Yeah, they say the words that you shouldn't be saying.
Yes.
Oh, like
And
darn
I think
it.
just for blood as well.
Okay. Was there any point in because this is a unique experience for us because we have somebody who is technically underage for this game. And you've played it and you've enjoyed it and you seem like a well-adjusted young man. So was there any part of the game where you like cringed back? Where you're like, oh, maybe this seems like this is too much for me, or this is giving me like the weird feelings of yuck or anything? Did anything like that happen?
But what I would say is it really depends on how mature you are. Like, if you're used to seeing like rated R movies or PG-13 movies, and stuff that like you're used to seeing this sort of stuff like blood, curse words, just gore in general. I think if you can handle it and you say that if you have like a trusted adult that says like, sure, like give it a go or whatever, I'd have to say trust, like do it.
Okay.
Yeah, I get it. Obviously I know Hunter. And I would say Hunter is actually very mature for his age. He understands the difference between a game and reality. The one thing, and I don't mean to kind of go too much or whatever, but I know that if a lot of this, so Hunter, one of the things that we do, we just don't necessarily just talk about games. We talked sometimes about mental health and all of that, and how gaming can help people, and sometimes it can change people's attitudes and all of that, which we won't necessarily get a lot into here. But it's what we like to call it. It's healthy video gaming. I think that's kind of what we've called it before, right, Steve? Something like that.
Sure.
Yeah, something like that. And it's just kind of like if something's bothering you or whatever like that, you realize that when to walk away from a video game, when to do other things, and when it's time to take a break and on all of that. And I would say that Hunter has a very good grasp on what that is at such a young age.
Thank you.
So
good.
Yeah. What I've been playing. So
what have you been playing, Dan?
I've actually, I don't know if it's really been playing a lot of new stuff. I think it's been tweaking a lot of the stuff that I have. So like, I've played, I did play Star Wars Fallen Order. I'm not a big Dark Souls, Demon Souls person, but I love the way that is paced. I love that I have a lightsaber and how fast it moves, and learning how to dodge and all of that. I truly feel like a Jedi, if that's weird or not.
No, that makes sense.
I like that. I played Death Stranding.
Oh, yeah.
I actually ended up trading in my PlayStation Pro and bought the limited edition PlayStation Pro for Death Stranding. I think the game is incredible. I think we could have our own episode on how great that game is, and talk about it.
Okay.
It is a game that, one, makes you think. Two, people are like, oh, it's all you're doing is delivering packages and all of that. And I'm like, but Kojima did something very weird. Like, it makes you want to do a good job delivering packages. And like,
it makes you care.
Yeah,
A
it
video
makes you
game that
actually
makes you
care.
That's interesting.
Like not
Okay.
not taking a package and punting it at somebody's front door. Like every time that you have a package or you have a thing that you have to do, because everything is like that's how you drive the story is literally delivering packages.
That's
And
the core gameplay loop is
yes,
take package,
exactly.
deliver it. Okay.
Yeah, if you don't deliver packages, you don't progress the story. I mean, it's
Got
just
it.
you have to.
Okay.
But there's a grasp or a hold that just says I want to do this and I want to do it well. And when you actually get it, you're like, okay, how many packages do I actually have to balance? If I balance it this way, what else can I take? Is there a vehicle that's there? If I go this way, am I going to go and fall into BT area? And then there's another part, and I think this is one of those big things that they haven't talked about. Like everybody just keeps touching upon it, but doesn't really go into detail with it. And then maybe it's because people didn't understand it until now that it came out, was the social aspect of it. So like Steve, you and I are friends on PlayStation. So you and I would actually never see each other at all. We would never see what we've done. Okay.
Well, technically, we have never seen each other.
Correct. Technically, we haven't
at all.
Yeah, at all.
Okay.
We're just voices in the night.
Ooh, yeah.
Ooh. So like if I have to go up like a hill or a cliff or something and I put a ladder, okay? And I put a ladder up. I leave that ladder, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Now, let's say that you and I weren't friends and you're on it could be a completely different mission. It doesn't have to be that mission, okay? That delivery. And you're like, "Wow, I really have to get up that hill." Oh, wait, somebody left a ladder. I can use your ladder.
Okay. All right.
Like you can use my ladder, and it says it's my ladder that I placed.
Oh, so like has like your PSN ID or whatever on there?
Correct.
Saying, okay, cool.
Correct. And like what you can do is you can pound on like the touchpad, and you can give likes for it. What happens then is that I'm notified that one, somebody used my ladder or my structure. This is how many likes they gave me, and then I get experience from that.
Oh, neat.
Yeah.
That's
like
cool.
Yeah, so it's like you don't want to and then that experience is not just, oh look, you have somebody's social experience. No, it actually ranks your character. Like it goes into rankings and it gives you real experience. So like there's a want to put things out in the universe or in the area to help other people out, because if you help them out, then you're going to get experience for them using your stuff.
That's a good reward system to help other players. Yeah.
And the reason that I brought up that, like, okay, so you and I are PSN friends, okay? We would never see each other's structures for the sheer fact that people cannot spawn or cheese the system by saying, "Hey, I'm going to go put this here, just keep liking it. Come back, I'm just going to keep putting out structures." And then people just keep liking them. You know what I'm saying?
So it has to be a stranger's structure?
It has to be a stranger structure. Yep. Just the little things that are really fun in the game. Yeah. So like there's a time, so like you're basically by yourself, okay? So like everybody that you see, except for what seems like one character in the game, and I won't give it up, it seems that like everybody's a hologram.
Okay.
So like you get this feeling that you really are alone.
I've heard that because of that aspect, the game feels very zen-like when you're traveling around.
It does. It is. It actually relaxes you. It does. Yeah, like the only time my heart rate really goes up is when it starts to rain, because rain ages things. Like it's not real water. It's the age. So like if it touches your metal box, your metal box is going to start to get rust, because that's the aging process of metal.
Okay.
If it touched you, you have like a suit that you put on, so it blocks you. But like, there's a part in the game where it actually hits your hand and it starts to like wrinkle, like you're becoming old.
Is it like that scene in Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade?
A little bit, yeah.
That's neat.
Yeah. So
Hunter, do yourself a favor. Go watch Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. It's really good. He's not here anymore. He left.
Is he still here?
No, I don't know.
Hunter, are you still here, dude?
Yeah, I'm still here. Yeah.
Okay.
He's listening to the old men talk.
Yeah. He's following us. We're just gonna hear soon. No. So it's really cool. Like the story, I'm not going to give away anything in the story just because it's such a good story. Like everybody, you can find the premise of it, which I'm not going to go into the premise that's very public, but what's happening in the story is crazy good, like crazy good. And I think that's the other thing too, is that's what's making me want to make deliveries because I want to see what's going to happen in the story.
Nice. That's awesome.
Yeah. So it's just, to me, it's just an all around great game. And then just one little fun aspect is that there's you can tap, like if you're not giving likes and you tap on the touchpad, you will yell out, "Hey!" Like it'll be Norman Reedus saying, "Hey, you there?" And if somebody in the game, like somebody's playing the game and they're close to your position, like somewhere else, because you don't see them, okay, right. They'll respond back to you.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah, so it's like okay, somebody's close to me. I just don't know where they are.
Hey.
So yeah, it's cool.
Hey.
So I did that. So I think that's the biggest PlayStation game that I've played. On Xbox, I've been playing Outer Worlds, which I think is great, but I was playing that right before Death Stranding started, so that kind of happened. Yep. And then I started getting my computer back up and running so we can start recording, and I made 3 really decent purchases with it. So last year I upgraded my GPU to a 2060, which is great. And then
fancy man.
So I went out on Black Friday, day after Thanksgiving, and my one buddy was looking at a new PC, so I helped him pick out a new PC.
Cool.
Or actually, I didn't help him. I was just kind of there. He kind of knew what he wanted. And I started looking, and I'm like, I really think that my processor is not the fastest that it can be, and I think it's holding back a little bit of my GPU performance.
Oh,
So I started looking, and I ended up going to a retailer. Which I went to 2 different retailers, and I started pricing out. So I upgraded from an Intel i7 8700 to I got a new motherboard. I got a tough gaming motherboard, which means that I have left the Intel camp, and I went to AMD, and I bought an AMD Ryzen 7 3800X CPU.
What does that mean?
It's fast.
Okay.
I was clocking at about 3.1, 3.2 gigahertz. As basically my speed.
Sure.
And now I'm idling at 4.2, and I've seen it reach like 4.6, 4.7.
Jeez. That's amazing.
Yes. So everything is just blazing fast. So with that, so that was 2 purchases, and then I went back and I'm like, there's no way that I'm going to be able to keep this cool. Like, there's just no way. Out of air, anybody who's built a computer knows that air movement is very, very vital, and cooling, obviously, in your case.
Yep.
So I ended up water cooling my CPU block.
So I've seen water cooling stuff for ages now, and I've never took the plunge, pun intended. So, like, what is it like? How dangerous? Because not dangerous, but like, I always felt like this is cool, literally. And if it springs a leak, like, does everything just explode? And like, how much safety is there? What's the whole experience like to water cool your system? And is it water or is it magic fluid? What is it?
I put in coolant. So I got coolant, but you can use distilled water as long as you put like the biocides and stuff like that they tell you to. So that's just so that algae doesn't grow in your system. So the two biggest things that really worried me were obviously leaks. Okay. And then I've never put a new like water block. I've never put thermal paste on a CPU.
Really? This was your first time?
It was my first time putting thermal paste. And I know that there is 1,000 videos out there of should you use the grain of rice method? Should you use the P method? Should you use the X method? The smiley face method? Should you just glop it on there? Like, what do you actually use?
You know, knife, and like you spreading butter.
Yeah, I mean, it's like what do you use?
Yeah.
So I did a lot of research. I am going to name drop here, and I don't know if people like these people or not. I really do. Jay's 2 cents was amazing videos to watch. He basically builds computers, but he does all cooling systems.
Okay.
A lot of water systems, a lot of all of that. So water blocks, and then Linus Tech Tips.
Oh yeah, I know that one. Okay.
Yeah, I did research for probably about a good 3 weeks.
Wow.
Yeah, before I was like, because I was thinking about doing it with the Intel anyway. So I just kept going back and forth and reading and how to do it, and I always thought cool. So that was my biggest thing. That was my biggest worrisome thing, is that obviously if you blow your CPU, you're gone.
Right.
Your GPU, I can't find a water block for my GPU, so I haven't water cooled that.
Oh, okay.
And then the other thing too that was really hard was you're right, the leaking, what to do for leaks. I ended up going with soft tubing. I didn't do hard tubing just because I'm not that good yet. Everything that they said is to use compression fittings. Okay. So basically it's, so you have a fitting, you put the tube on there, and then there's a part that goes over the top of it that compresses it together. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Makes sense.
So when I did the whole route, the hardest part of that though was finding a place for the radiator.
Oh.
So like basically, you go from reservoir pump to CPU block. CPU block takes the heat. The coolant takes the heat out of the CPU block. Then it goes up to the radiator. Radiator then goes through, and you know what a radiator looks like. And then you have fans that push the hot air off the radiator, cool the coolant back down, go back to your reservoir, and you continue the loop. Well, my fans are an inch and a little bit more. Okay. My radiator is literally about 2.5 to almost about 2.5 inches. So I'm adding 3 to 3.5 inches from the top of my case, or from the side of my case, in toward my motherboard and all of that. So that was the hard part, is finding how to mount that and where to mount that, because you need the radiator.
Do you? I mean, you don't have to put the radiator inside of your case, though, right? Can't you run tubing like down the hallway, like out to the garage, and like have it out there? I know that sounds crazy, but like you don't have to put it that close to your case, do you?
No, but they say that remember, your pump is the only movement of it is your pump, though. So
so you're limited by your okay.
Yeah, I'm limited by the pump size. So, but it's really good. Like I did it. I think it looks pretty cool. I sent out pictures on the Discord.
Yeah, it looks really cool.
Yeah. What they say for leaks though, and this was the hard thing. Like this was like you mean I'm not going to be able to game on it tonight? I took all of I jumped my system. So I put a jumper on there, and I took all the other connections off. So like my 8-pin CPU, what is it? I took off the jumper for my GPU. I took out the USB thing. So basically, and then I took out my 24 power pin. I plugged in the 24 power pin to a jumper, and then I turned on the system. So there was nothing running through the motherboard. But I was running my pump. Okay. So what I did was since now that's not producing any heat, I laid down a whole bunch of paper towels like on my GPU. I put it under the pump. I put it under the reservoir. I put it under my CPU, all of that. Okay. And as I got the air out and all of that, I ran it for about 24 hours.
Oh, I see.
just ran the pump for about 24 hours, and they say if you don't see any leaks after about 24 hours, you're pretty good. So I did that, and I didn't have any leaks, and I've yet, knock on wood, I've yet to see any leaks. So
Wow,
yeah,
that seems like quite a process. Is it worth it so far? Can you tell? Is there a difference?
Oh yeah,
Is it? Yeah.
Oh yeah. So I was now this is all Celsius, so not Fahrenheit. So I was running between about 50 to 60 degrees Celsius, and then I would go up close to the 70, 75 range on air cool when I was doing gaming.
Sure. That sounds right. Yeah.
Okay. I idle at about 38 degrees, 37 degrees.
Wow. Okay.
I was streaming yesterday, and the highest I peaked at was 72 degrees Celsius, but my average was 52.
Wow.
Which, if anybody knows, it's once you kind of get into well, at least I know for the Ryzen side, I know it changes and all of that.
Mm-hmm.
I know that once you hit between 80 and 90 degrees Celsius is like you're in the gaming zone. Once you kind of hit above 90 degrees Celsius, which is almost 200 degrees Fahrenheit,
That's pretty
you're starting to get into like that worrisome warning area.
Things start to break down. Yeah.
Things start to break down. Like I said, I peaked for literally maybe a half a second at 72, and then it went back down. And because I have a program that tells me what my CPU temp is, and like I said, I was averaging in low 50s, so 52, 53 degrees Celsius. So yeah, so there's a definite difference.
That's really cool.
Yeah, I kind of want to build another one. I kind of want to take it apart and put it back together.
Well, no, I have to ask Hunter, on a scale of 1 to 10, how interesting has this conversation been?
Like a 7, because I don't have a PC.
What?
Yeah.
All right.
I don't just have $1,200 laying around.
And that would be a low end.
Yeah.
That way threw some shade at you, man. That was amazing.
So, Hunter, a little bit is that Steve is what we call a PC Master Race guy.
Oh, yeah. Master Race all the way.
So
sure.
He prefers, if he has a console that he prefers, it's not a console, it's a PC. That's where he prefers to play on. Hunter, I believe you have a Switch and a PS4?
Yes.
What do you prefer?
I prefer the PS4 because I use it more often.
Okay.
When you play with your Switch, do you take it around with you a lot, or do you just have it docked, or is it kind of a mix of both?
I'm not like the people in the commercial where they take it on a plane or something.
So you don't take a lot of plane rides, do you?
No, I don't.
Okay.
What are you talking about? You go all the time. You guys were in Arizona before. You guys went to California?
Yeah.
Or Disney. You guys just got back from Florida for Disney, right?
California.
Oh, California for Disney.
Oh, did you do Galaxy's Edge?
Yes, that is worth it. That's the best.
Oh, did you buy a $200 lightsaber?
No, I bought all the soda things, like how it's like all weird font and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got that.
That's cool.
But you have, what is it? You have 2 lightsabers, right? You have 2 custom lightsabers?
Yeah, and those things are way worth it more than the Star Wars one. And those things are like a quarter of the price, or like half the price of the $200 ones, and they're supposedly unbreakable, is what they say in Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. But if you get the ones from like Comic-Con or something, you can like smash them against each other and stuff. It's worth it.
Let's just put it this way: Hunter and I, per se, maybe had a lightsaber fight in a hotel hallway one time.
Uh-huh.
That's
with them.
Amazing. That's so cool.
Yes.
It's fun.
Awesome.
So, but Hunter, you've actually been to San Diego Comic-Con, haven't you?
No, I have not. I've been to Chicago Comic-Con and the Phoenix Comic-Con, which
Oh, I could have sworn that you went to San Diego, or your father has.
Yeah, Dad has. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So,
good deal.
Yeah. So it's pretty cool.
So why don't you build Hunter a PC then, Mr. Moneybags?
I would. Believe me, I definitely would. I would love to. I'm saying it now. Steve, I am having so much fun playing on my PC.
It's great, isn't it?
Yeah, like it's there's just so much more. Like one of the things that I have been doing, and I know that you've probably noticed this, is that I'm streaming a lot more.
Yeah, it's super easy, right?
No.
No, it's not. But like once you get it set up and you get your like, okay, here's my 5 different things I need to do for every game. But like the it doesn't take away from the experience at all. I found on PC. Like it's just another thing running off to the side, and it's
Correct. Yeah, you know what? Honestly, that's right. So like once I put my overlay on and all of that, I kind of just put it to the side, and then I just have a little alert to see if I'm skipping frames or if something's going wrong with the encoder. But I literally just go full screen on my one on my one main monitor, and that's basically all I look at, and I'll just glance over to see if there's anybody viewing or if there's a chat. Somebody throws a chat message in, but that's really about it.
When I was playing Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order on my Xbox, and I was doing some streaming from there. There's not the app stuff that they have isn't really intuitive. It's really like bare bones basic, and so like I couldn't tell if there was anybody watching. I couldn't tell. Like there was just a little counter, like an overlay over my game. So, it's blocking some of my game viewing space. How dare you? But like a counter of how long you'd been streaming. And then there was a number of like who was watching you. And that's the only information you got unless you had to leave the game, through the dashboard, load up the Twitch app, and then like look for more information, which was bare bones anyway. It worked. It's fine. I streamed. But if there had been, if I had people watching or people trying to talk to me, that would have been a huge problem because you just don't have the control that you have on PC.
Correct.
So, yeah, it's neat. It's cool to stream on PC.
Yeah, it is. I'm really enjoying it. So I'm trying to make as per se a New Year's. What is that? What are those? The
resolution?
Yeah, the resolutions, whatever. I'm gonna try to stream some more. Or more consistently because I'm having a lot of fun with it.
My New Year's resolution is to be 8K.
Away from computer?
No, 8 like the resolution 8K, like 4K.
Oh, you're 8. Oh, you want to be 8K.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you said AK.
No. I want to shoot more stuff next year.
So
no, it was just a massive dad joke that fell flat. That's all that was.
Oh, okay, I got it.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yep.
Okay.
Cool. Moving on.
So we're going to go through the Game Awards really fast. We're going to talk about the two big things that came out of the Game Awards. If that's cool. So how about, why don't I do this? Okay. So some of this stuff, like, let me go through the winners and then I'll kind of give a little bit of my impression and we'll talk about the two announcements. So like best esports player, Kyle Buga. I don't know who he is. Best esports team, G2 esports for League of Legends. That's great. Esports host is Sox, or however you say his name. It sounds very French.
Sure.
As far as that goes, to see what that was. Sorry, my computer clicked off. Best esports game was League of Legends, which is not surprising. Somebody keeps trying to message us. Oh, that's why, because it's the other Discord. Join our Discord, speaking of that. The Save Point Podcast Discord. Just go to our website. That's Save Point Podcast on Podbean. That's probably going to be the easiest way to do it, or look at iTunes or Google or Spotify.
Yeah.
Esports coach, Danny Sorensen. I wonder if he's related to Nick Sorensen. Bad joke, I know. Esports awards, and then League of Legends was best esports game. That's fine. Best action adventure game was Sekiro. If you guys remember, I did a review for that. I thought the game was amazing. Best game direction, Death Stranding. I completely agree with that. I'm just saying we can go into more depth of these winners if we wanted to later on, a different thing, but just for essence of time and what we really want to talk about on some other stuff, then we'll talk about that. Best independent game, Disco Elysium.
Elysium.
Elysium. Have you ever
Yeah.
played it?
I haven't, but I got a really hefty a recommendation for that game from somewhere, and so I put it on my Steam wish list. But yeah, I don't know much about that game.
Huh.
Just that I even forget who recommended it or why, but I remember it was like a very firm recommendation. It was an awesome game.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, there it is.
Best role-playing game, Disco Elysium again. Best indie game, a fresh indie game, Disco Elysium. And then player's voice was Fire Emblem Three Houses. I find that funny.
Okay.
Okay.
Hey, the best family game that won was Luigi's Mansion 3. What do you think
There
about
you
that,
go.
Hunter?
There you go. Best performance, Mads Mikkelsen as Cliff in Death Stranding. Yes. Just play the game. I'm not going to go into it, but yes, play the game.
Okay.
Best VR game, Beat Saber. I agree with that.
Yeah.
Best
good.
ongoing game is Fortnite. I mean,
Why not?
just because of that. As far as that goes, best multiplayer, Apex Legends, which I always find really, really funny. I found this very humorous. Is that you realize the guy that what is it? The guy that announced that award was Ninja, and his game's Fortnite. And remember, he was given like $1 million to play Apex Legends for like a day, and then he was like, "Nope, I'm going back to Fortnite."
That's hilarious.
I find that funny. Best mobile game is Call of Duty Mobile.
Yeah.
Do you have that, Hunter?
Yes, I actually saw the charts that it's number one. It's like it goes Call of Duty Mobile, Fortnite, and then there's not an Apex Mobile, is there?
No, there's not.
So,
No,
yeah.
no. But it's like top of the like mobile games. It's pretty good. I've played it. It's nice.
Nice.
Oh,
Let's see.
Grindstone was up for mobile game. Grindstone is really good. Oh, that's the
Huh.
other thing I got like months ago. The Apple Gaming or Apple Arcade deal.
Yeah, is it worth it?
That's like a whole thing that I can talk about for another hour or so. But yeah, I think it's 100% worth it. It changes the paradigm of what a mobile game is. We can talk about that in another episode.
Absolutely. Cool. Let's see. Best sports racing game. I like how they put sports and racing together now. Is Crash Team Racing Nitro Fueled. Best family game, Luigi's Mansion 3. Games for Impact. Is it Grease?
GRIS?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
I
think
don't
it's
know how to
Grease.
say that.
I actually got that game for free right after the Game Awards. I tweeted the Video Game Awards and they gave me a code.
Neat.
Yeah, neat. Best action game, Devil May Cry 5. I like Devil May Cry. I just thought it was really, really slow.
Okay.
Like slow moving. Best art direction was Control.
I've heard a lot about Control, but I haven't heard a lot about Control. Like it's a game that keeps popping up as like a thing that everyone played or something, but I don't know anyone who's played it. It's
Hunter,
cool.
don't you want that game?
Yeah, it's like it's sort of like using the Force in like the Star Wars game, but it's just using the Force, no lightsabers and stuff like that.
Huh.
Well, sign me up.
Yeah.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah, it really does.
Okay, cool.
Content Creator of the Year, Shroud. I don't know who he is. I know we should, but I really don't.
Yeah.
Best strategy game, Fire Emblem Three Houses. Which with really what it was up against, I don't see why that wouldn't have won. Best audio design, Call of Duty Modern Warfare. Best fighting game, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, which somebody has to get. We have to get together and we have to do that again because we streamed that for about 3 hours over one time last year or this past year, and it was so much fun. So we gotta do that again.
Awesome.
Best narrative, Disco Elysium. Best musical score.
See,
yeah,
I'm a sucker for a good story in a game, and Disco Elysium it keeps hitting on all these things that I really like in games. I've got to get that thing and check out and see what the heck it is.
Yeah, me too. Best score in music, Death Stranding. Let's just put. You know what? I'm jaded on this one, or not jaded, but biased on this one because my favorite band, Bring Me the Horizon, did basically the theme song to it in like 5 days. The song Ludens. And I love it. I think it's a great song. They're my favorite band. So I don't know if I could. I don't know if I would be able to be unbiased on that side.
Okay.
Best community support, Destiny 2. I'm not even going to get into that.
Community support. There's an award for that? I mean, I guess. I don't know.
I think that was the. Remember the gift of Bart Simpson where he has the cake and it says, "At least you tried," and he throws it away. I think that's what that award really is because, like to me, Destiny 2, they've changed. I don't want to get into it, but I will. They've changed that game 6 different times.
Yeah,
this didn't work, so let's change it. It's like no, you don't get do-overs. The game's horrible.
Well, except like that's why they got the award is because it's the community support. That is, when people yell at us enough, we'll change the game, and so people yelled at them enough, and they changed the game enough, and so they got an award for it.
And it's like, no, sorry, you don't get a reward for that.
Can we? This is fun and all. Can we move on to like the big announcements?
Yes, actually, we have one award left, and then I was going to get into it. So,
yes.
Right. Game of the Year is Sekiro: Shadows Die Twice, which I think deserves it too. But we'll get into that. So, the big announcements.
Yes.
I think the lesser of the one was that we got a confirmation of the new Sony console, which is called the PlayStation 5.
That naming, man. Whew, PlayStation 5. Who saw that coming?
Yeah, who saw that one coming? And then they had the game Godfall. Is it? Yeah, it's called Godfall. I think it looks cool. I really don't know if that should be like a if it's a launch title, awesome. Mm-hmm. But I don't think that they need to show something better than a cartoony game like that.
Okay, I'm looking up an image of it now so I can give my opinion.
Yeah.
Okay, I see what they're doing there. It's fine. It looks fine.
It looks great. And all of that, but and I'll tell you the reason why once we get into the other announcement.
Yeah,
that's really all we heard about the PlayStation.
Okay,
was that it's coming and it's called the PlayStation 5.
They're keeping their cards close to the vest. That's it's fine. Yeah.
So I don't know. Like I said, I'm excited. I'm excited that the hype is starting, and it's started before February. Unlike the last generation.
Does it have a release date? Did they do that?
They just said holiday 2020.
Holiday 2020. Oh, so next year is going to be the big battle.
Yeah, next year is going to be the big battle.
Okay. Start saving your money, Hunter. Start saving your money now. It's going to be $10,000 for this thing.
What did you think? What did you think of the trailer for Godfall?
I thought it was.
Go ahead. Go ahead, Hunter.
What?
Go ahead. Go. What did you think of the trailer?
I thought it was. I was a little confused at first. I thought the people that were like next to the guy that in the trailer. I was just confused up front, and then it got a little interesting at the end of the trailer. And how. Well, it didn't really give any context or anything, but it just looked sort of interesting.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm good.
I'm watching the trailer right now, and all I see is a different style Destiny clone.
Yeah.
But I don't have the audio playing, so I don't know what it sounds like. But I just see like dude in armor running around sci-fi world.
Mm-hmm. But it also looks very CG.
They had the whole tag at the beginning, like in-game footage, and I'm like, okay, but it doesn't look special. Like this looks like a current generation.
That's what I'm saying. Like it's just like, okay, great. Like I was like, okay, this is going to be a really, really old game that people are not going to if it's being released on PlayStation or Xbox, and if it doesn't come out within the next 3 months, it's going to be forgotten about by the end of the year.
Yeah. unless they're taking this next year to like polish it up and like, because this is okay. So I just finished the trailer, kind of. Yeah, it just says Godfall at the end. It doesn't look like anything special, but it also doesn't give away like what it actually is. Like, what kind of game is this? Is it first person? Is it third person? Is it a dating simulator? Like, we don't know what this is. It just says
dating simulator.
Like, how amazing would that be if they're like, yes, dating simulator, PlayStation 5. date these mech wolves. Mech wolf dating. Here we go. Like, that'd be pretty fun.
Yeah.
Like, there's so little information. It's hard to make an opinion about it. Besides, like, hey, those mech wolves look cool, and that's all you can say about it.
Yeah.
So yeah, cool.
So yeah, so I'm kind of looking at that and great, but like I said, they need to. They're playing it very close to the chest. I can see that.
Yes. I mean, Sony at this point, because they were like, E3, what's E3? And now they're like, PlayStation 5, you'll buy one when it comes out, and we're not going to tell you about it. Like, they appear to be a little bit arrogant about their place in the world, which right now Sony is top dog when it comes to console world, which, maybe they're just saying like, yeah, like, we don't need to do all this crazy advertising. We'll leave that to the other people.
I don't think that they're being arrogant at the moment. I think they had the opportunity to try to possibly release something and give us some information. And this is kind of like that. Here, you're tasting the spaghetti sauce before the spaghetti sauce is done. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So yeah.
They want people's opinions on like, oh, is this what people expected? Is it not what they expected? That kind of nonsense. Okay. All right.
So let's get into the other thing. So we know that it's called the PlayStation 5, and that's really about, and there's at least one game for it.
Yeah.
So I think the biggest unveil, and this will kind of get into our last topic right before the Christmas buying guide, is the new Xbox, the Xbox Series X.
Yeah, with a crazy name. Let's do this.
Hunter,
go. What do you think?
I have an opinion just by myself. I think if you have like a TV stand and you have a TV and you already have consoles, you're basically just buying like a giant box. So you're gonna have to find like maybe the floor or somewhere to put it. And so I feel like the only option you can't it just looks kind of strange to me. Like, it's not flat. It's not really it's not really hidden. It's sort of just standing out there. And
so you think it's going to be an eyesore?
Huh?
You think it's going to be like an eyesore, like it's going to look weird in your entertainment center? Okay.
Fair enough.
Steve.
Well, if we're just talking about the physical, the hardware, look, man. Hunter, I'm sorry, but it's called an Xbox. Like, what did you think? It's the name. It's a box.
Is that a fun?
It's a box.
But shouldn't it be in the shape of an X then?
Oh, have you seen that? Like the original Xbox, like the designs of it. It is a giant X. Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Yep, I've seen it.
The form of this thing I thought was weird. I think that until you see it next to something else, it looks bigger than it actually is. Because if you look at it with the controller next to it, it's not really that big. It is a weird shape though. Like right now I have both my Xbox One X and my PS4 mounted behind my flat screen TV because I'm awesome like that. And it's great because they both like just fit back there. And when I saw this Xbox Series X thing, I thought, is that even going to fit back there? And it might not. There might not be enough room, or it's hard to tell. Yep. And maybe it will fit back there. So yeah, that is kind of weird. But did you guys see the trailer for Senua's Saga Hellblade 2?
That's what I was just going to bring up.
Yeah,
that looks amazing. Like, that gave me chills.
So, like, not only is it stylistically amazing as the first game, Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice, which is an awesome game if no one's ever played it. You need to get that on PC and play it immediately. But Like, what I didn't realize about this trailer, because I saw that there was a trailer for Senua's Saga. This was before I saw that there was an Xbox reveal. I just saw that this trailer popped up on my newsfeed. I was like, oh, I'll watch this because I like that game. And I was watching. I was like, oh, this is interesting. Like, they've got this video game announcement, and it's a mix of in-game stuff and live action. How weird. Okay, I guess that's cool. But then later I found out this is all in-game footage.
Yeah, it's all in-game.
Now, to me, this is impressive in a way that the PS5 announcement with the God thing, was it God's Fall?
Godfall, yeah.
Godfall, that wasn't impressive. Whereas this, I thought this was real people and, mixed in with, the video game stuff. When it shows her face and she's like being a death metal singer, which is also amazing. Like, I thought that was live action. I thought that was a person in makeup that was just filmed. And to me, that sets a very high bar. And that, because I like graphics and graphics are cool, like right there, I'm like, oh, this is what games are going to look like now. I am immediately going to buy myself this next Xbox. Like, yeah.
Yeah. Like, yeah, if this is what's going on, I'm sold.
If this is their launch title, if this is something that's going to be there at the beginning, what's it going to look like a year in, 2 years in? Whatever next named Xbox they're doing. And then they had the whole, like, I mean, this was a proper Xbox reveal. So they were like, yeah, we're also doing backwards compatibility for every Xbox. Yep. And your current Xbox One stuff will just work with this machine. Like, they're doing so much for their audience that it's amazing. Like, oh, you buy new controllers? Nah, keep your old controllers. They work. Oh, I have to buy all new games? Nah, play your old games. They work too. Like, that's amazing to me. They've done some cool stuff. Which, so, in all fairness, maybe the PS5 is going to have that stuff too, but they're keeping it secret, so there's nothing to be excited about.
Yep. Let's see. I agree with you. Actually, looking at the Hellblade 2 trailer makes me want to play the first one. I've never played the first one. I've always been told to. I just never have.
Yeah. It's super good. And I mean, what's interesting about it is the way it deals with mental health. It's a video game about mental health, and they recommend to play it with headphones. And I would say that is the way to play this game because of the voices in your head. Like the main character has voices talking to her in her head, and they do like an ASMR deal with the way it whispers into your ears. It's an incredible experience. It's really cool.
Well, that's cool. So one, it makes me want to play the game.
Mm-hmm.
Two, it gets me very, very excited with what this new technology is. Supposedly, it's double the power of the Xbox X, or what is it? The Xbox
One
X, whatever it's called. Which means that there might be 12 teraflops instead of 6. All the teraflops.
It's so many. They're flopping around everywhere. It's crazy.
Flopping around everywhere.
Yeah.
It just makes me very excited for games because obviously the PlayStation is not going to have every game look cartoony like it is. Obviously, there's going to be realistic games. I think we're at the point now in a generation where it's not necessarily the power of it. It's going to be the games that come out once again. This is going to be, if this was a super game heavy generation, this next generation is going to be even more super heavy game. And I think we're going to start to see a more of a movement towards when it's a single player, is it an exclusive? When it's a multiplayer, is it cross stream or is it cross platform? And if it is cross platform, who's doing it better? I think that's where we're going to see this. As far as the naming of it, people are making fun of it. I care less what it's called. I mean, call it the shit box. I don't care.
Xbox : the next one that you're going to buy.
I mean, it's
whatever.
I care less about a name.
Yeah.
The form of it.
Wait. Hold on. We're old men. We don't care about the name. Hunter, do you care what this thing's called? Like, is it a turnoff? Is you're like, oh, that's cool. Like, does it matter?
I mean, with new iPhones these days, they just like name it whatever and just sell it. So, I mean, there's gonna be a couple people that are just gonna be like confused about the name, but I mean, I'm fine with it.
Okay.
Yeah. See,
fair enough.
Yeah, it makes sense. The form of it, I think it's an out there form. If it's a little bit taller than the Xfinity, like modem, whatever you want to call it, the thing. What's the big What's the big deal?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Supposedly it can lean on its side too. It doesn't have to stand up like that. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
so I mean, look at the footprint of the Switch, the original Switch. That was a weird thing. Tell me where that really fits in your entertainment center. You know?
Yeah. Well, I think it's a bit weird because in the past Xbox has been like, oh, we're not just a gaming platform, we are your home theater platform as well. And so like the shape of their previous few iterations of the Xbox has been like, oh, it's like a Blu-ray player, or just a little bit bigger. It'll fit in that slot in your entertainment center, and this one really doesn't at all. So I'm curious if it was a design decision to be like, oh, let's be different, or if it was, oh, we're taping together like 3 video cards, and so we have to, like, the shape of it we can't change because that's just how it is. I'm just curious, like, because it won't fit in the same slot. You won't be able to pull out your Xbox One and slam this one into the same spot. It just won't fit. It appears that it won't fit. So
I think the other thing too is, what is their hashtag for it? Power your dreams or whatever like that.
Oh, I didn't see that. Okay.
Yeah, it's power your dreams, and they are not calling it an entertainment thing. They are calling it, this is a gaming system. This is a game console.
So
and I think that's what you're going to hear left and right and up and down. I honestly, when E3 starts to get around the corner, I want to count how many times they call it a gaming console at their press conference.
Yeah, they're swapped. Yeah, they're switching the other way.
Yeah.
So they went the home theater route, and I mean it's not like they're a failing company or anything. So they did fine with that, but I think they're looking at the PS and going like, okay, this is our competitor this year. Like, how do we get one over, or on the whole PlayStation stuff? And so far this is the way.
Yep.
Like, this is how it's going.
So early reports that if people are estimating this thing could cost around $600. That's early reports.
Yeah.
With what you saw with the one game, the form factor, the possible specs, Steve, $600, yes, no?
Yes. And
Hunter.
Yeah.
Would you be asking parents or yourself saving up $600 for this?
I'd be going in debt. I mean, most consoles these days cost like $300, right? $300.
Yeah.
I mean, if
you
you double your price, at least make it like $400 or $500. Not like $600 is like, it doesn't just show up out of nowhere. Like, that takes time for the money.
You need good justification if you're younger, especially because, I mean, at your age, you probably don't have $600.
No,
sitting around unless you have a lot of grandmothers.
Or a weed business.
Or yeah.
Well, the other thing is that if this is your first console, if Hunter, it sounds like you don't have an Xbox yet. So
no.
if this is your first Xbox console, you're coming in fresh. Like for me, I've been playing on Xboxes since since the original Xbox.
Yeah.
Really, the 360 era was when I got really into gaming, and so I have a lot of history with the brand. And if they say, hey, all your old stuff is compatible, like I already have literally hundreds of games on my Xbox Live account, and if I buy this thing, plug it in, and all those things are just available to play, like that's a huge bonus for me.
Yeah.
For someone coming in fresh, you get this thing, it comes with one game, that's all you've got, and so that's a harder sell for $600 for that. But do it. Get the Xbox.
So
it's gonna be amazing.
At $600, I'm a yes. I'm really excited about this.
$40,000 sitting around with water cooled nonsense. Right. Of course you're gonna buy 2 and throw one away. Yeah,
right. Just I'm gonna take one just so I can shoot it.
Just to take it away from someone else who wants it.
So, okay. Yeah. So we're going to get into the last part of this because we're getting to the end of our episode. Hunter, Christmas buying guide. Your 2 top games. What is a game that and then what game is you have to get? If you don't have it, you have to get it for Christmas. Ready? Go.
I'd have to say 100% get Call of Duty Modern Warfare. I mean, just the main story and everything. second game, Luigi's Mansion by Nintendo Switch. It's also a great game.
Awesome. Steve.
Well, first of all, like this buying guide, is it only games, or can we talk about hardware too?
You're saying the Oculus?
I'm saying an Oculus. I think it is time now. If you've been holding off to buy VR stuff, and if you've got the scratch, do yourself a favor, buy yourself VR. It's getting to a critical point now where there are cool games. It's not just tech demos. There are cool games out for them. They're affordable. The Oculus Quest, the one where you don't have to plug into a PC, like that seems pretty entry level. You get it. You get a couple of games for it. You play. Oh, I forgot. Vader Immortal. That's another one that I played. You buy that for $10. You buy Beat Saber. You buy a couple of these games and have a ton of fun.
Nice.
So yeah, I would say buying guide this Christmas. Ask grandma, save your gift cards, get yourself some VR. Beyond that, man, Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order has been such a fun game. With there's almost no downsides to it. It had a couple of like weird janky stuff when it first released. They've patched it out. It's good stuff. It's a fun game. It's a melee game. It's a Star Wars game. The story's been fun so far. It hits a lot of, if you're a Star Wars fan, it hits stuff from the prequels to the original trilogy era. It includes like Clone Wars stuff. They run the gamut of Star Wars lore, and it all fits together seamlessly, which I really appreciate as a Star Wars fan. So nice. Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, PC, Xbox. Is it on the PS stuff? I don't even know. I think
it's on PlayStation.
It's on PlayStation. I think it's either coming to the Switch or it is on the Switch. There's something about the Switch maybe, but regardless, that's my second pick.
Nice. Okay. My two are number one is Death Stranding. Get Death Stranding. It's a great game. And two, my second one would be I'm seconding the Star Wars. So much fun with Star Wars.
That's great. It's fun.
Awesome. So once again, thank you, Hunter, for joining us.
Thanks for allowing me to join. Thank you.
Yeah, awesome. We'll invite you back at some point within the next year. Merry Christmas, Steve. Merry Christmas, Hunter.
Merry Christmas.
Everybody out there listening, thank you again for a great year. This is kind of just a taste. We'll be back with season 3 starting next year. Recording.
We better.
But,
we better. You better not move again. Like I want.
No, I'm not going to move again. I promise.
Talk about games, man. We got to do this.
I promise I'm not going to move.
Okay.
But once again, healthy gaming. Have a great time. Have a great holiday season. No, whatever holidays you and your family celebrate, I hope they are filled with fun and laughter and just good times. Play a lot of games, and we cannot wait to talk to you in 2020. So with that, we are signing off for the year. Have a great one, guys.
All right.
Goodbye.
Bye.